Vibe coding, AI coding is a disaster. Let's get into it. Guys, this is your boy Joe back at it again, CodingPhase.com. Your boy is back and I done did it again one more time. All right, guys, I want to start this off with, I think AI is amazing. I think coding with AI is amazing. Okay, it does help you to build applications faster, and it does get you to a point where you can pretty much create a prototype if you want to get an idea out or you just need some extra help, right? Like AI is great for that, especially when you don't have to be searching for things or going through documentation. The AI can help you with that. Now, with that being said, I also want to mention that I don't want to gatekeep this, okay? I'm not one of those people that be like, man, no one should learn how to code, only certain few people. No, I believe everyone should learn how to code and should build applications if they want to build applications. I mean, we're in an age of ideas. It's no longer special to just know how to code. You actually need to have ideas, and we're seeing a lot of cool things come up from people that are beginners at learning how to code or don't even know how to code. But you have to do it with this in mind, okay? Guess what? You can't skip steps, guys. Right now, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of examples of what's happening out there in the wild, right? This is what's happening to people right now who are building applications without knowing how to code and don't understand the process of building applications. So let's start with the first one. So in here it says, my project became so big that Claude can't properly understand it, right? So I made a project in Python entirely using Composer, right? Cursor and Claude, but it has gotten to a point that a whole code base is over 30 Python files, which is not even that much, to be honest with you. Code is super disorganized, might even have duplicate loops. Claude keeps forgetting basic stuff like imports at this point. When I asked it to optimize the code or to fix a bug, it doesn't even recognize the main issue and just ends up deleting random lines or breaking everything completely, okay? Trust me, I've been through this, all right? I know what he's going through. I have zero knowledge about Python. It's actually a miracle I got this far with the project, but now it's almost impossible to keep track of things. What do? I already tried using cursor rules, but doesn't seem to work. So again, let's start with this. You don't even know how to code. You don't even know what it takes to build an application. So you're just going in and telling Cursor to go in and build you an application with this, add this feature, add that, add this, add that. But you're not even making sure if this thing is secure. You're not even making sure if this thing is optimized, or even if there's better ways of doing what Cursor is just going in and doing some Frankenstein code and just adding it for you, okay? These AI platforms, LLMs, they're not as smart as people think. It's not a robot. It's not like a human being where you could go in and say, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we had an application with this, and that? A human who knows how to code can go in and say, I kind of understand what type of application this person wants. Let me go in and try to build it. All right. The AI, you need to be very specific, and you need to actually go in and tell it exactly every step of what it needs to do, and also give it the right context. So if you don't understand what it's happening under the hood, what you're doing is you're basically just telling this AI that it's just pulling things out of documentation, things that it has sold on GitHub, right? But what if you need some custom code, a new thing that hasn't been put out there, hasn't been created? It can't do that, okay? Now, again, most of the problems that this guy's having is because he just doesn't know even Python. So again, Cursor is just going in, doing some Frankenstein shit and just building it for them. Okay, so that's one example. Here's another example that we have right here. Shout out to my boy Theo, right, for posting this. It says, Cursor fucked up my 4 months of work. So now it's Cursor's fault. Okay, disclaimer, I'm a moron who worked on the same project without thinking about the risk that Cursor could break everything. Okay, yesterday Cursor, even though I only asked it to feed a view on my UI, it destroyed months of development. My question: how do you back up your project's versions to ensure that the next action on Cursor is reversible? Oops. Right? Also, I know that while I'm in the while I'm the concern, Cursor isn't the only culprit. It's also Claude. So now we're blaming Claude. While good overall, still has some flaws. Okay, who's gonna tell him? Who here is gonna tell him? Please leave the comment. How do you make sure you take care of the different versions that you have of your code? Okay? This is the most basic shit. This is some shit that you could learn literally on your first month of learning how to code. Who's gonna tell him? Right? It's the most basic shit. Using Git, my guy. Okay? You have to commit your changes. This is not just something that could happen to Cursor, an AI tool, right? It can also happen to any developer. You go in, you start working on a project. If you're not going in and making sure you commit your changes, you cannot go back into time to go and fix it. There is no way to do that unless you have maybe like a Apple hard drive where basically it backed up everything that you did, right? What was the name of it? I think like Time Machine that Apple has, right? Unless you're using that, you can't go back. So if for whatever reason you change something and it broke the whole application, you can't even go back to your code, okay? Because it's only so much you could do Control Z and Command, you're gonna say Command Z and try to undo. Guess what? Shit is gonna break. And that's normal. This happens even to human beings, especially if you decide to click on the experimental tool from Cursor that says YOLO. But this is the problem. We are seeing people creating these videos of, hey man, vibe coding, this and that. Yeah, Riley Brown. Shout out to him because he is doing a great job. Okay, he's doing a great job creating content, showing people about how you could get started, start building applications, how you could prototype things. But that's the thing that people need to start putting out there, the disclaimer. This is a prototype. This needs to be actually, be secure. You need to have somebody that know what the fuck they're doing. That should be like the main warning. Again, shout out to Riley Brown. I suggest you guys subscribe to him because I do think he has a lot of great content. And even I watch him all the time because I like the content that he's doing. I like to see how his brain works, how he comes up with ideas. I think it's really good what he's doing. Okay, and it's a great introduction to showing people the power of like building applications. I think that's the highlight of his channel, and how it's not as scary as people might think. I think he's doing a great job. But we also need to come in and tell people, guys, y'all need to go through the basics. Okay? Y'all need to go through the basics. Stop trying to skip steps. All right? If it was that easy to go in and start building applications and it was just about just writing some code, right? Anyone could do this. And the truth is that not everyone can do this without the proper training. All right, that's the number one thing that people need to remember. Now, again, someone might watch this and might say, well, you're biased. You have a platform where you teach people how to code. Of course, you're trying to gatekeep us from building applications. Bro, I don't give a fuck where you learn how to code, right? But you need to go through the basics. You need to understand how programming works. You need to understand how web applications all work and how it all connects to each other. You need to go through how to make sure your applications are secure. There's another guy out there, I'm not gonna say their name, right? Some of you guys might know, has a course on teaching people how to code fast as possible. Okay, great. Teach people how to code as much as they need to learn. But teach them also too how to build your application secure. Goes in, sells a, bootstrap, a kit, a template kit, a starter kit. In the starter kit, it's not secure. So it's like, why are we trying to skip these steps? I get it. We need to build fast. We need to get things out there. Right now, things are moving so fast that it's like whoever launches the application first, whoever has the idea and gets it out there as soon as possible. And that's great and all, but we also cannot skip the steps that are very important. You need to understand how web applications work. You need to understand the basics of Git. You need to understand how to keep your application secure, because if a user is signing up to your application and basically your application is a hacker's bitch, then now you're basically putting those people at risk. Their data, their information, their credit cards, right? All of these things, their personal data. What's my address? People shouldn't have my address. You're gonna say, like, people shouldn't have my social security number. You're gonna say, like, God forbid somebody comes in and say, hey man, I'm vibe coding and I'm just building this application that connects to this, that connects to that. By the way, put your zip code here, put in your social security number, put this and that. And then from there, they have a page where they're console logging the social security number, or they're doing a open request, sending the data directly of somebody's social security number. I don't know. There's a million ways you could go in and build this applications and be, not secure. Okay. And you're leaving it to AI to go in and figure this shit out. And you don't even know if the shit is secure, or you don't even know if this thing even works. And you have no idea how to even backtrack. And you're putting applications live and having thousands of people signing up to the things. And you're just like, well, I was vibe coding, guys. By the way, I'm just vibing. No, the moment you're charging somebody, you need to make sure that everything is secure and that everything works how it's supposed to work. Because if not, then you're just like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what are they paying you for? Now, here's a little tip for some of you guys that's watching this. If you want to build applications, I will suggest start with something that's already secured, something that's already built by the community and is constantly getting updates to make sure the application is secure and that has the best practices, and that you could focus on just your idea and building, right? Next.js, Node.js, JavaScript, I'll be honest, that's like going in and buying a 1992 Honda Civic. That Honda Civic, you can go in and tweak it, put a muffler, put in a freaking NOx engine, put this and that, put turbo on it, etc. You could make that car amazing and super fast, but you need to know what you're doing. Now, something like Laravel, right? It's a great framework and already has everything included for you, from authentication to migrations to basically handling, connecting to OAuth. You have everything there in that framework alone, okay? And then all of the security packages that come with Laravel to make sure your application is as secure as possible. Okay, like you have to go hard on Laravel to really break it, to make it insecure. Like you have to go out of your way. But going into that Node.js, Next.js ecosystem, you gotta know what you're doing. That's not for everybody. Okay, that's like, like I said, it's a Honda Civic from 1992 that you could tweak and you could do whatever you want to it and make it super fast. But when you have certain frameworks that come in with everything included, it's like a Lamborghini. It's like a Mercedes-Benz. It's already fast. All you have to do is just build. So again, I know some people's gonna get mad about that little comment, but it's the truth, guys. You have to go in. If you're a beginner, I wouldn't tell somebody, hey, start with Next.js or Node.js or anything with JavaScript. I will tell them start with something that has everything included so you could just hit the ground running. And at least I'll feel good where like, this guy don't know how to fucking do anything, but shit, the bare minimum, he can't break that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go in and fuck up Laravel. Like Laravel is already a framework already established. You can't fuck that shit up. There's not that much freedom. I mean, you have enough freedom, but there's not that much shit that you could fuck it up. Even like Cursor, you go in and tell it, hey, we're working with Laravel, we're working with this structure. It already knows every single step of what to do. There's a view, there's a model, there's a controller. It's like dummy proof. Okay. Now, guys, like I said, you want to go in and learn how to code. It's up to you. You could listen to me. You could go and continue doing what you're going to do. You could listen to everybody that's out here and tell you, hey, you could do this without even knowing how to code. I can tell you there's going to be some consequences to this. Anyways, guys, this video is already getting too long. I want you guys to check out this video that I have right here for you guys, and also check out the links that I have in the description. All right. If you want to get started, start learning how to code, check out CodingPhase.com or go somewhere wherever you feel comfortable at. But learn the skills. Okay. Stop playing and stop skipping the steps.